Hello, my friends. My name is Sofía. I live in Spain. I started learning English 2 years ago. In the beginning, I always translated in my head. I heard something in English, and I tried to change it into Spanish. I wanted to understand every word. I think many people do this. We want to feel safe. Spanish is my language. It feels easy. It feels warm. English is new. It feels cold. So my brain says, let's use Spanish first. But this is not the best way. Every language is different. The words are different, yes. But also, the ideas are different. The way people speak is different. English is not Spanish. It has its own music. It has its own shape. When I use Spanish to build an English sentence, the sentence sounds wrong. The words are right, but the feeling is strange. I didn't know this at first. I thought translation was the answer. But translation is only the beginning. It is like walking with a map. At some point, you must walk without the map. You must think in English. But that is not easy. I didn't know how. My brain was slow. My mouth was quiet. I wanted to speak, but I was afraid. I was thinking in the wrong way. I was thinking in Spanish, not in English. One night, I was on my phone. I was in bed. I could not sleep. I opened a website about learning English. I read something simple, but it stayed in my mind. It said, stop translating. Start thinking in English. I read it again. I didn't understand it at first. Think in English? I asked myself. But I always use Spanish in my head. I always find Spanish words first. Then I change them to English. That's how I work. That's what I always do. But maybe that was my problem. The website said, say simple sentences. Look at the world. Use easy words. Don't translate. Just speak. Just think. I wanted to try. Maybe it could help me. Maybe it could make my English better. The next morning, I woke up early. I made coffee. I sat at the table. I looked at my cup. I remembered the sentence. I said, I am drinking coffee. Slowly. With no Spanish. Just English. Just me. It felt strange, but it also felt good. I smiled. Then I looked at the window. The window is open. I looked at the chair. My bag is on the chair. I looked at my hands. My hands are warm. I looked at the clock. It is 7 o'clock. That day, I said more small sentences. At the bus stop, I looked at the sky. It is cloudy today. I saw a woman with a baby. The baby is sleeping. I looked at my shoes. My shoes are black. I felt cold. It is a cold morning. At the supermarket, I said, these apples are red. I looked at the bread. I want this one. I picked a banana. This banana is big. I walked to the door. I'm going home now. I didn't say the sentences out loud. I only said them in my head. I was shy. I didn't want to speak out loud. I felt a little afraid. What if I said it wrong? What if my voice sounded strange? But later that day, I tried again. I was alone in the kitchen. I looked at my cat. I said, the cat is sleeping. This time, I said it out loud, not in my head. I used my voice. It was quiet, but real. I heard myself. It was my English voice. I looked at my shoes. My shoes are black. I said it again, louder. My shoes are black. Then I started doing this everywhere. In the bathroom, I said, I am brushing my teeth. At the bus stop, I said, the bus is coming. In the park, I said, the trees are green. At home, I said, I am washing the dishes. Sometimes I made mistakes. Sometimes I forgot a word. But I didn't stop. I wanted to hear my voice. I wanted to practice my English sounds. I wanted to speak, even when I was alone. After a few days, I was not shy. I was not afraid. My words came faster. My sentences felt easier. And I liked my voice in English. It felt new. It felt strong. They were small words, easy words, but they were real. They were mine. At the end of the day, I felt tired, but proud. 2 weeks passed. Every day I spoke in English. I looked at things. I used short sentences. I said them out loud, not in my head. I wanted to hear my voice. At first, I was shy, but now I felt better. I was not afraid. I liked my English voice. It helped me learn. It helped me remember words. It helped me feel strong. One morning, I went to the supermarket. I took a basket and walked inside. I saw apples. I said, "These apples are red." I smiled. It was easy. I didn't think in Spanish. I just said the words in English out loud. Then I saw bananas. I picked one up. I said, "This banana is big." A man next to me looked at me. I smiled again and said, "I am learning English." He laughed and said, "Good job." After that, I went to the bread section. I said, "I want brown bread today." Then I said, "I like this one." I didn't stop. I didn't translate. The words came fast. I felt happy. Outside, I waited at the bus stop. It was cold. I looked at the sky and said, "It is cloudy." I looked at the people. I said, "Many people are waiting." I was speaking to myself, but it was real. It was practice. It was English. That night, I made tea. I said, "I am making tea." I sat on the sofa. I said, "I am tired, but I feel good." I looked at my notebook. I said, "I can learn. I can grow. I can speak English." Before sleep, I stood in front of the mirror. I looked at myself. I said, "You are learning, Sofía. You are doing well." I smiled. Now English is not only in my book, it is in my day. It is in my voice. It is part of me. One day, my friend Laura came to my house. She is also learning English. We drank tea and talked. She said, "I feel slow. I think in Spanish. I want to think in English, but I can't." I looked at her and smiled. "I understand," I said. I had the same problem. She asked me, "How did you fix it?" I took a deep breath. I said, "I started small. I said short sentences. Every day, I used my voice. I talked to myself." Laura looked surprised. "You talk to yourself?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "In the kitchen," I said, "I am making coffee." In the street, I said, "The sun is bright." In the shop, I said, "This bread looks good." I did this every day. Laura laughed. "You sounded a little crazy." I laughed too. "Maybe," I said, "but it helped." I stopped thinking in Spanish. I started thinking in English. Laura smiled. "Maybe I can try that," she said. "Yes," I said, "just 5 minutes a day." You don't need to be perfect. Just speak. Just try. After that day, Laura sent me messages. She said things like, I said my shoes are old this morning. I looked at the bus and said, it is late. I feel more confident now. I felt proud of her. I felt happy too. Now, I was not only learning, I was helping. I was giving hope. Sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I forget words. But now, I don't stop. I don't feel bad. I just smile and try again. Because now, English is part of my life. And I want to tell you, you can do it too. Start small. Speak every day. Don't wait to be perfect. Just begin. One sentence, one voice, one step. And now, I want to ask you, what is your story? Do you translate in your head too? Do you feel afraid to speak? You are not alone. This is a long road, but we can walk together. Thank you for listening. Write your story in the comments. I will read them all.